All right, all right. I see one person popped in. I'll wait for a few more people to pop in. I could have sworn. Let's see. I put all my things. Uh,
Holland Blunt man himself talking about also when is Conscious League going to acknowledge I accepted this debate request?
all right, all right. Still waiting on. I did put a post out to not today, 2 days ago, and then yesterday. I am doing a live, really about promoting my channel and doing a Q&A and kind of getting to know me and where I want to go with my channel. A lot of it is, people oriented, relationship oriented, getting really starting fresh. One of the big things um, that I've seen, especially out on the West Coast, is everyone's trying to get somewhere. Living on the East Coast, it's like everyone's moving, but no one really thinks to do anything. And on the West Coast, I notice people actually think about where they want to go, and a lot of, especially millennials and even baby boomers, who really didn't get a chance to. They just like went straight to work and graduated high school, went straight to work, did what they needed to do, and didn't really get a chance to build themselves their own identity and things like that. So my whole channel is all about uplifting people, and if there's anything I can take away from that. So that's why I wanted to do live, because I've done lives on Instagram. I've never done live on YouTube. So that's kind of where I want to go on this. Let's get someone this. All right. So that's really what I want to do today, is go over a few Q&A questions, talk a little bit about me and kind of where I want to go with my channel, and hopefully expand and share this video onto my YouTube platform. Like I said, I've never done a live on here before, and so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I know I am still this channel is still a small channel, so I'm not expecting it to go, skyrocket, but if it does, help my channel, then great. And I want to do something consistently where I do, like, I don't know, maybe like a live every week, because I am doing Mondays and Fridays. I post my usually story times or vlogs, and then I want to reserve like Wednesdays to just doing like lives. One of the things I've done on my website is I do my lives, and it really does help promote and bring traffic and drive that traffic. So that's really where I want to go from here, is driving the traffic to my channel, not just to my social medias, but to my YouTube channel. I spend a lot of time working on my YouTube channel. I've worked very hard to build it up from, nothing. And I do want to make sure it goes somewhere. So that's why I want to do lives. And I'm going to get my questions out, because I got some questions on my Instagram. Right here. Yeah, so if you already are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and make sure you are subscribed. In a world where, we're all dealing with the effects of COVID, we've all been affected. We're all dealing with our own personal issues. And I think that one of the biggest problems we're facing now is more and more, we're starting to see more and more like depression, anxiety. We're starting to see it more because working has always been the foundation of all of us. We all like to work, whether it's going to work or working at home, cleaning, cooking, taking care of the house, whatever your work is. It's really important. And when there's an event that rips that from you, it takes a toll. We all like, whether it's a career or a at-home job, whatever the case may be, we are very attached to our jobs. I know I am. I can speak for personal experience. I am very attached to my job. So when my job went bye-bye, I had to start learning how to, working from home, and it just was a whole fiasco. So I don't know. I kind of just want to see where this goes, and hopefully, create a community where a lot of us experiencing similar things can kind of grow from each other, learn from each other. My past, so when I moved to LA, I first moved to LA 10 years ago, and I was going to school here, and I was, I thought I was going to be, this major movie star, and da, 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 da. I just lived in this fantasy world. And so I went to school. That didn't exactly happen. I worked my way, but things happened. So I went back home, and then after about 9 years, I came back here to LA. I'm originally from Rhode Island, so um, LA's only been kind of like a temporary thing for me, and going to from Rhode Island, which is more of a more country environment, to LA, to New York, like a city environment. And it's even different from New York City. I've lived in New York City, and New York City is, kind of like this. It's always moving. Here, it seems to be very relaxed. There's a lack of, how do I put this? Sense of urgency, and so, which is fine with me. I'm not trying to rush anyways, but yeah, so there was a lot of that and dealing with that, and then again moving back here last year, with a few $1,000s. I had a job, but that was a job in hospitality, and it, obviously with COVID, that didn't help. So I moved last November to LA, and then I got an apartment, and after about January, that's when I started noticing, work started getting slower. People stopped coming as much. I was in hospitality, so I worked at a hotel, and a lot of people stopped coming. And then February hit, and people started talking about COVID a little bit more, and then March hit, and then that's when my the hotel's owner, shut that down, which classifies as a temporary termination of everyone, literally every person that worked there. So it was tough on, we're talking about, I think it was like 150 employees that worked at this hotel. And so it's like, oops, thank you for your service, but we had to, lay you off because right now we can't be open, we can't operate. And even still, they only have, after 6-7 months, they only have, I think, like 5 or 6 people working at the hotel right now, and it's mainly just to keep it afloat. So that sucks. But yeah, so that's what happened with that. Now I'm doing work from home. I'm hoping to kind of continue that to where I can do it full time, and so I can focus more on social media and YouTube, and grow my brand. So a little bit about me, a few facts about me. I have I have biracial parents. Biracial? No, I am biracial. Sorry. I have interracial parents, and so that was unique growing up with, because I had a Christian father, a Catholic mother. I had I had a Republican mother, a Democratic father. I had, there was a lot of differences. White mother, black father. There's a lot of things that came into play as far as growing up. Our culture was different because it was really molded together, you know. And in a sense, there was really no one. There was nothing that my mother's culture comes, and she comes from Pennsylvania Dutch, so she's German and Swiss, and so she has, according to the 23andMe that I did, and so um, there was never really any self discovery. It was just, and going back to that, my parents, when they got married, they got a job. My dad went into the army. My mother would, had her degree and her business degree, but she was, got married, had a kid, and then another one and another one, so there was no ever taking the time for themselves. So for me, it was all about that self discovery. When I finally got out here the second time and really started to think about where I wanted to do things and what I wanted to go, I didn't want to rely on a system that says, okay, a 9 to 5 job, 9 to 5. It just wasn't going to work. I mean, it's proof now that working at home is far more efficient and allows me to do pretty much whatever I need to do. I don't have to worry about, I got a doctor's appointment. Well, I got to miss a half a day at work. So now I got to take a tardy, and then that's a mark against my attendance. It just a whole bunch of things that just I don't need to worry about now. I mean, obviously, I'm not where I want to be. I am not working full time from home. I'm working part time from home, but I am doing better. So that's the goal. I am doing this nonprofit. That's another thing about me. I'm part of a nonprofit right here. This is a little certification they gave me, and it's something I'm proud of. I like doing it. I like helping people. It's a program that gives out meals to the homeless every Sunday, and then they have a private part of the program where they invite individuals who are able to work, guide them down a 20-week path, or a minimum of a 20-week path, and the goal is to get them a full-time employment, maintain that full-time employment, and then get them into stable housing of their own. So, that's another thing that I've been doing that I like to do. A little bit about me. I already mentioned I'm interracial, Swiss, German, African descent. I live in LA. I'm from Rhode Island. So I definitely grew up with a more northern country background. As far as career, I mean, I've been in business a very long time, about 13 years. I've done acting as, kind of like a side gig since I was 9, about 9, 10, yeah, around there. So I definitely wanted to bring that into my YouTube channel as well. So that's another reason why I was so excited, because I could get to do my, my self-employment on the side to pay my bills and really incorporate, some of my past into my YouTube channel. And that's where a lot of my experiences come from, and why I thought, whenever my friends have asked or family have asked me for advice, I never got a complaint where they came back and said, oh, well, that was wrong advice. It didn't work. No, it always worked for them. And that contributes to, my experiences, things I've dealt with. And I tend to internalize a lot. And so a lot of people I've known do have a problem with doing that. I am pretty well able to do that very well. I even tend to internalize about myself a little too much. But so yeah, a lot of the advice I've given is great advice, and people loved it. And so I thought, why not get on here, talk about my own story times, my own experiences, and maybe creating an engagement where people can put their experiences and kind of where they want to go, and how they're starting fresh. Whether you were an addict or are an addict and you're dealing with recovery, maybe you're still young in your recovery. Maybe you just got out of jail and you did some stupid stuff. You were younger, you did some stupid stuff. You got you got involved with the wrong people and just made some dumb decisions, and you're out, you're fresh, you're clean, you're ready to get back into society and focus on your goals and your aspirations. No matter where you come from, there is a place here on my channel, and so as I grow it, I definitely do want everyone to feel safe and um, respected and comfortable with sharing, not every detail of their life, but enough where um, we're kind of bouncing ideas and bouncing off of different experiences that we all have. That's part of the next part I want to talk about is me. I spent a lot of time in and out of foster care growing up. So that was another thing that really, in some ways it traumatized me because I was pulled out of, I don't want to say pulled out of, but in a sense, I was pulled out of my family at 9 years old. So what I had known up until 9 years old was my family. And so when I was put into this group home for a few months and then put into a foster care that did more damage to me than ever. And I won't get into that today. I do want to say that for a story time, but again, it's just more experiences built up that I can give back to not just, whether it be baby boomers, millennials, Gen Zs. I think it's important to put that information out so people know what's going on, know how to deal with things like foster care, how to deal with foster kids. Foster kids are very hard to deal with because their experiences are based off of their traumatizing past. And sometimes you can't always communicate with them, through words like we do. Sometimes so experiences like that I've had in my past to contribute on my channel. And I think that, I got a lot to offer. So that's why I wanted to come on here and just do a quick about me Q&A, kind of answering some questions. One of the questions that I got was where I'm from. So I told you where I'm from. I'm from Rhode Island. Another one is my background. So it didn't specify. So I just give you my background in career and my background in my race. Am I political? No, I'm not political. I think that politics, especially right now, I have picked a side. I do have a specific political side, but I wouldn't consider myself political just for the simple fact that there are some things in politics that I don't agree with. For instance, and I won't get too in depth in this, but when we talk about Democrats versus Republicans, and this is my personal belief that, both sides should be working together to be creating an equal country. Now, there's only so much equal you can have in an economy where everyone's affected by what's going on right now. So equalism has always been a building block, right? You build one block and then another and another. And I think that right now everyone wants to just get everything equal and that's it, no questions asked. And that's just not how it goes. It has to be built. It's like building blocks. It's like me when I first started crawling, I would crawl and then I would start running. Instead of learning to walk first, I started to run first. And so that didn't really work out in my favor. But again, I eventually learned to walk first and then run. And so the same ideology applies. You need to building blocks. But there's some things in politics that I just don't agree with. And so that's why I try to keep my biased opinions to myself and only keep, factual things in a conversation. That's another thing. Getting into conversation about politics, people tend to get very upset when you don't agree with how they view politics. If they, so I knew someone who was a Republican and he said, well, we're the best. And if you don't like it, we can fight. Well, to him, I mean, it ain't that serious, bro. It ain't that serious. But anyway, so I try to keep like politics, religion, anything controversial, unless I know the person is mature enough to have a conversation where it doesn't end up in an argument or, worse. So that's those things I try to stay away from. All right. The next question is, do I have social media? Yes, I have several social medias, which it, there's a few things you can do. You can go to my about page and you can see all my social medias in this video. You can see it in the description box. I have all my social medias there. I think one of them changed just by name, but I put the handle, so you should be good. Um, yeah, so I do have social medias. I think my highest one right now is Facebook, but I'm trying to convert my Facebook. I built another page for just all my videos. I know not all of my viewers are on YouTube, some of them are on Facebook. So what I try to do is bring them from Facebook over to YouTube by giving them like, 5 minute of the 10 or 15 minute videos that I have on here. So that's what I'm doing with that. Do I have kids? No, I don't have kids. I've taken care. I've godchildren, but they have parents. I just get to spoil them all the time. All right, some of these are some of them are inappropriate. I'm not going to do that. This is a family channel. Um, all right. Have I ever been out of the country? This is a little different question. Yes, I have. I've been to Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico. I helped build houses for a missionary back about 12 years ago. I've been to Canada, Alaska. I've been to Puerto Rico. So yeah, I have been out of the country. Um, I'm all about learning people's cultures, honoring them, respecting them. I went to school with a very diverse amount of kids. Some of them are from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, some are from Italy, France. So I definitely have great respect for different cultures. I mean, I consist of several different cultures, so it would stand to reason that I would want to learn about other people's cultures. Um, Here we go. All right, so this next question is: am I dating someone? No, I'm single. I don't know. I see a lot of people on these different like dating sites and talking about, finding love. I mean, not to be morbid, but it's kind of hard for me to find love when I am seeing so many people affected by what's going on right now that I don't know. I see like couples rolling down the street like everything's, and that's, they're a couple, that's fine. But for me, I would feel, it would feel wrong for me to, and I'm not saying stop our lives, but I don't know. It's not like it's, a small group of people that are affected. I mean, we're talking about a worldwide population that are being affected by this big event. So for me, I think right now dating is just put on the side, and majority of what I'm doing right now is just building my platform, building my brand. And speaking of which, I do have a website, so that's another thing about me. I do have a website, and I don't know if I put that in the description box, but I'll go ahead. Actually, I'll add it in here right now. It's jacobforever.com. I have a lot of new stuff coming in. I did have this brand right here. It's called Likes, but I got rid of that brand. It just didn't suit where I was going. So the next brand is Challenge Yourself. It's all about starting fresh. It's all about the new challenges you'll face in life, and setbacks and mountains you got to climb over. And so that's why I felt it suited the time period of Challenge Yourself. The next line that I'm coming out with is going to be called Face Yourself. And this is about the next part of your journey when you're starting your life over, or when you just need a fresh start. Maybe you're 17, 18, got kicked out by your parents for whatever reason, and you need a new start. This is an excellent line that introduces that idea. Whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter. So those are two lines that I have out right now, and then I have another one that I'm working on that's going to be more personal about me and kind of where I'm molding myself into this person. So I think that's a lot of what I'm doing right now, and that's a lot about me that should show my character. I do have, like I said, if you want to get to know me even more, go to my social medias. They're always available for you guys to go to. Do check out my website because I have a lot of new stuff on there, and I'm starting a new blog on my website. So go and check out the blog. I think I have one post up there so far. I like to do like at least one post every day. So I just started it yesterday, so I'll do another one today and going forth. And there'll just be different things to think about, and you can engage with the post as well. So let's see, what other questions do we have here? What am I doing today? Today is actually one of my vlogging days. So I vlog on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Wednesdays is like a bulk day for me. So like I take my thumbnails, I do some photo shoots on Wednesdays, I do some voice recordings. Would show you, but I kind of knocked it over. But yeah, I set up like my staging area in my apartment where I do a lot of my filming. So that's pretty much what I do on Wednesdays. And then of course, starting today and going forward, I would like to do lives every week. Again, just to promote my channel and promote my brand. At first, it's going to start off small, but it will, again, each week will grow and grow and grow. I am going to do I think I'm going to promote a new concept for my live chats every week. So that way, because I did go ahead and post this on my social medias. I know a lot of the people that are following me are on the East Coast, and the ones that I know are actually at work right now. So that's why, but I knew I had to post this at a time that was going to work for me as well, because I do have other plans tonight. Let's see, got a couple more questions. Okay. My favorite car. Wow, that's a weird one. My favorite car. I am more of, I don't like race cars. I mean, they're nice, but they're just too fragile for me. I'm more of a rugged kind of car. So I like big cars. I like excursions and even Hummers. I would love, oh my God, I would love a Hummer, especially like a golden or yellowish, or even like an autumn color, like orange. I know that's kind of weird, but a Hummer would be like ultimate car that I would love. So let's see. That one's another inappropriate one I won't be asking. Let's see this one. How many siblings I have? I have 6. Well, 5. Technically 6, but yeah, we'll say 5 because one of them's not in the picture. I have one sister. I have one sister and 4 brothers. They all live on the East Coast. Most of my friends live on the East Coast. I'm the one that moved to the West Coast. There's actually, no, I have a couple friends that live up in Washington, and then a couple friends in New York, Florida, and then some stayed in Rhode Island. Me, personally, I just couldn't do it. Everyone I talked to there just had the same dark mentality of, there was always a reason why they couldn't move on or move on. Why I have kids or I'm married, unfortunately, there are millions of people all around the world moving, bettering their lives with a lot more kids than the people I was talking to. So it was never, sometimes they'll say money was the issue. And then they'll go out and buy, a brand new car, or they'll go out and refinance the house. Well, if money is such an issue, why are you refinancing the house? You know what I'm saying? If anything, you shouldn't be refinancing your house. You should sell your house. You'd make more money selling your house than refinancing your house, because now you're going to have to pay all that back. So you just paid off your house just to pay all that right back, and probably at a higher interest rate. So there was always an excuse after that. And it wasn't just one, there's a lot of people there that have that mentality. They have it's a small state with a small mentality. And for me, it just had to stop. And then there's just a lot of toxic behavior in the family, and people I knew outside the family. Just a lot needed to change. And I knew that if I stayed on that path, I'd be 33 years old, still wondering, where is my life going to? And I didn't want that. At least now I'm 33 and I can say, I know where my life is going. I know what I'm doing. I have a vision of what I'm going to do, and I have a plan on what I'm going to do. So that's kind of where everything was going with me. Moving back here years later, it was pretty scary, because it wasn't like the first time when I moved here, I didn't know anything. I mean, I still don't know shit, but before, I didn't know a single thing. I didn't know. I hadn't been to LA. I hadn't been to the West Coast. I mean, you can consider Tijuana the West Coast, but it really was more of South. So I didn't know better, but now I do. So it was different, because I knew once I made this move, I was going to actually have to follow through with a lot of the goals that I had set a long time ago. And so, at first it was scary, but now I know I made the right decision. Like I said, looking back, it was just so much bad behavior, toxic behavior that was surrounded me, and my siblings. Go back to being in foster care. There was a lot of negative, but one of the positives is I was raised by a foster family that was not toxic. They also didn't have the same issue. They weren't battling addiction. They weren't dealing with, people with past that, made it difficult for people. So they weren't dealing with those issues after issue after issue. They had stability, and my biological family, there was a lot of instability. I think two of my brothers, one's in like warehouse production. He's stable with him, his girlfriend, his son. He's stable. I have another younger brother who works in the restaurant industry as a manager, and he's stable. But there was a lot that they were deprived of, and so when I was making the decision to come out here, I knew that they were going to be okay. Some of my other siblings, I don't know, but I knew they were going to be okay, and I knew, I had to do what was right for me and what was best for me. Because, like I said, I wasn't surrounded by that. I wasn't used to that kind of behavior, and they were. They know how to navigate their lives around that. Me, not so much. I don't mess with that shit. I don't play around. So I'm very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first foster family I was with were Marine sergeants. So being raised in that home for 5 years was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You did this, this, and this. If I tell you to do this, you jump. If I tell you to do this, you get up. So it was very militant. I never had to question. Well, I never got the chance to question. But, going back home to my biological family when I did 10 years ago, it was a whole new atmosphere that I was not accustomed to. Vice versa, my family was not accustomed to the way I was raised either. They viewed it as very, I don't know, old-fashioned and medieval and not realistic. When reality, my life was realistic, and the way I viewed the way they were living as unrealistic. So we both had our own perspectives, but in the end, like I said, I had to choose what I knew, kind of like in the middle. I didn't want to be the way they raised me, but I didn't want to be the way my siblings were raised. I wanted to be better, and I got that chance to be better. And so I think that, there's so much to talk about, but yeah, so that's about me, really. And those are Q&A questions. One of the things, so some videos I have planned coming up is my apartment tour. I have a vlog that I did today, I actually filmed today. And then what else will we be doing today? Obviously, this live upload will go up today. And then, am I doing anything else today? I'm gonna debate on the podcast that I want. On my TikTok channel, I do a lot of like little skits and things like that. And so I did talk about doing a podcast. I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll see about that today. But I did want to kind of play around with this new live chat, this new live. I've never done it on YouTube before, and so I wanted to just get on here, play around with it, kind of see where I wanted to do it at. I think this is a good area because the background is kind of things I've worked for in the background. My Gatorade collection. I have more, but just a little bit more about me that I could give to you guys and hopefully open up to you guys on what I have to offer and what my channel will be about. So I do hope you enjoyed today's live. Going forward, I'll do one every Wednesday. I did get on here at 12:35, probably closer to 12:40. So I want to try to get consistent, do it like 12:30. They'll be in between 30 minutes and an hour. So depending on how much content that I'm covering in my lives, and they're strictly going to be about, my brand and more about what I have to offer. And if you guys have questions, you're welcome to put in your questions, type in your questions. Just make sure you keep it clean and neat. But yeah, so that's what that's going to be about every week at 12:30. So make sure you spread the word and enjoy your day. Stay safe. Quarantine as much as you can. I know if you're on the front of the line workers, it's hard to do that. So stay safe, and I will see you in the next chat, or I will see you in my next video, which will be on Friday. All right. See you later.